Yeah, but what about the whole argument that it's more of like the Bernie Sanders argument? Because a lot of people are like, why haven't you just left the party by now? Well, the whole thought process is get in there, take over the party, hijack the party. Why have you stayed away from that tactic, rather stay from the Green Party? Because you and both Kenneth Mejia moved that way. Let's not also forget, in that particular district, he was once an endorsed Bernie Sanders candidate. So the fact that he was running a Green or independent, I think that was really what shined. It was like a populist movement with him. But why use the tactic that you guys have stayed with, rather when some people have gone the opposite way? Go in there and hijack that party. If it is so bad, let's go in there and grab it and take power away from them.
An example, AOC.
Yeah. So a huge part of this, I think you have to take a long view at history. So there are examples of people that have gone into the Democratic Party and have caused a conflict for the leadership of the party. So these days, of course, we have most notably AOC. Prior to AOC, we had people like Cynthia McKinney and Dennis Kucinich.
Yep.
And even in his day, Dean was a so-called radical progressive. But I think what that history shows us very clearly, is that, unfortunately, the very top of the party, which are people like Pelosi, people like Schumer, they have very, very tight reins on their party members, and they are essentially able to squash any kind of protest. So you mentioned AOC. I'm a fan of the policy priorities that AOC is pushing. But I'm not a fan of how she voted to make Nancy Pelosi the speaker.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of how she voted for some funding that was, quote, pro-democracy, that was actually going to, try to topple Latin American governments like Venezuela. I'm not a fan, and I think it's ridiculous. Recently, I saw that she said that she was saying that the Democratic Party is not a left party, that she can't even get a floor vote for Medicare for all. Well, of course, if you're voting for Nancy Pelosi for speaker, how are you ever going to get a floor vote? Yeah. So
she was praised for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Majorly.
Right.
And I thought it was a good thing that she said that, but But in
Wow.
retrospect, could she have not voted for Pelosi when that was the inevitable? She was the inevitable winner anyway.
Stand the line, right? No.
Well, it's kind of like, we want to be protesting as much as we can when we feel like there's an injustice or there's something that's wrong. And the fact that I was happy when, say, Tulsi said, well, she voted present. She voted present on that. And that showed courage. That showed courage. That showed backbone.
Thank you.
AOC could have done the same for that vote for Pelosi. And she didn't. Voting yes to the leadership of Nancy Pelosi implies so much to people. So I think it sends actually a confusing message. I wish that she wouldn't do those things so that we could get the good things that she's pushing for, there's a lot of them. But you need to actually stick up against the leaders. It's like, say Bernie has been criticized, right, for saying that Warren is his friend, Biden is his friend. No, they're not your friends. And you don't vote for them to be speaker, and you don't give them any level of credibility because they have none. They're not friends of working people, of the vast majority of people in this world. So we should not, make it okay to treat them in a better way or to give them more power.